Your brain might actually be addicted to struggle more than it is to success, and neuroscience can prove it. There's a saying that if you're not struggling, you're not growing. The grind, the burnout, the constant anxiety, the constant stress, that is just a part of it. But neuroscience actually shows something very different. Chronic struggle is not proof that you are working hard. It is proof that your brain has gotten addicted to the struggle and the pain itself. And I know that can sound a little bit dramatic, but it is true that your brain can actually start to feel safer in chaos than it does in peace. And in this video, I want to talk to you about why this is happening, how to know if it's even happening to you, and what to do about it in 3 simple steps. If you are new here, hi, my name is Amber. I am an entrepreneur, best-selling author, speaker, community builder, and I have been spending a lot of time studying neuroscience and human behavior. Not only because it has been so fascinating to me, but because I needed to understand why I was constantly burning myself out while I was achieving things that should have lit me up, and why I was creating chaos in my life unintentionally. So if you've ever hit a goal and felt nothing, or if slowing down makes you anxious, or if you feel more reactive than usual and you don't really understand later on why you reacted the way you reacted, or if peace actually feels a little bit uncomfortable to you, then this video is for you. So before we get into the 3 steps, I want to explain what is exactly happening in your brain. Because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Most people think addiction is about substances like alcohol, nicotine, or whatever. But our brains can actually get addicted to an emotional state as well. And struggle is one of the most common ones, especially for high achievers. And here is why. Your brain has something called the dopamine system. And I talked a little bit about this in my last video that you all seem to love, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper into it in this one. Dopamine isn't just about pleasure or the happy hormone. It's also about anticipation and motivation. Here is what is really interesting. Your brain actually gets a hit of dopamine from the pursuit of a goal, not just the achievement. So when you are chasing something, working late, pushing through, grinding, your brain is actually getting little hits of dopamine by the effort itself. Now, where this gets dangerous is if you spend many years in this state. Your brain then starts to associate struggle with purpose. Struggle becomes the signal that you are doing something meaningful. So when things are calm, when there is no crisis, when you're actually okay, your brain starts to panic. It's like, wait, where is the urgency? Where is the pressure? Where is the chaos? Something must be wrong. This is actually why so many successful people self-sabotage. They pick fights. They create drama. They take on too much. That's not because they're broken, but because their nervous system has been programmed to equate calm with danger. And the scariest part is that you might not even realize you are doing it. Because from the outside, you look productive. You look driven. But internally, you are running on fumes. And the engine is designed to never let you stop. I actually want to go back to something that I mentioned in my last video because I think it deserves a little bit more time. When I got diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis and had my 8-hour-long surgery, I was forced to stop. Like, physically stop. I could not walk. I could not get up to go to the bathroom. I could not eat food or drink water. And I definitely could not grind. And at first that made me really, really furious. Not just at the situation, but at my own body that was betraying me. Because in my mind, slowing down felt like I was falling behind. And at that time in my life, I was actually a fitness coach. So my body, me moving, was literally my career and my income. And prior that year is when my business finally started to boom. So ending up in a hospital bed and being in recovery for weeks really made me feel like I was failing. But here is what I learned in those weeks of bed rest. My brain had been running on struggle for so long that I literally did not know who I was without it. When I wasn't chasing something, I literally felt invisible. When I wasn't stressed, I felt like I was lazy. That is how deep the addiction went. And the funny thing is, once I actually accepted the stillness, like really accepted it, that is when I wrote my book in 2 weeks. Yes, 2 weeks. After months and months and even almost years of procrastinating and wanting to write a book for so long, staring at a blank page when all those years I was grinding so hard in my career. But that's because the pressure was finally lifted off of me, and then the creativity finally had room to enter. So the question isn't how do I work harder? How do you unlearn the addiction to struggle without losing your ambition? And that is what these 3 steps are for. The first step is awareness. And I know that sounds basic, but stick with me here, because most people don't know when their addiction to struggle is actually running the show. So here is how you can catch it. Ask yourself, when things are going well, like really well, do you feel calm? Or do you feel a little suspicious? Like, are you waiting for the other shoe to drop? Do you create problems in your mind that aren't really there? Do you feel restless on days off? Does the idea of having nothing urgent to do make you feel a little uncomfortable? If you answered yes to any of these, your brain has probably wired struggle as the baseline. Here's the neuroscience nerdiness behind what is actually happening. Your brain has something called the reticular activating system. The RAS for short. It's essentially a filter. It shows you what you believe is important. And if your brain believes struggle is important, it is literally going to scan problems to solve in your environment, conflicts to manage, and random fires to put out. It's not that life is harder for you. It's that your brain is trained to find the harder parts. And this is really common in a lot of people, especially those who have been through traumatic situations in life, which is honestly majority of us. It's also very common in people who work really hard. Personally, this has been such a huge factor in my life, and it's something that I still deal with. Step 2 is the rewiring part. This takes practice and time. If your brain has been running on high alert for years, it doesn't just switch off because you decide, okay, I'm going to relax now. It's not that easy. You actually have to teach your body that safety and calmness is allowed. Here's what I mean. When you feel the urge to create urgency, to check your emails at 10 p.m., to add one more thing to your to-do list, to go stalk your ex on social media, to manufacture another problem. Pause. Literally, just pause. Notice the urge that's popped up, and then ask yourself, is this actually necessary right now? Or is my brain just looking for the next hit of struggle dopamine? Most likely, that is the case. This is what I like to call urge surging. And to go back to neuroscience nerdiness, neuroscience literally shows that urges have the expiration timeline. If you sit with discomfort for even like 60 seconds without acting on it, it actually is going to begin to fade. And every time you're doing this, you are training your brain. We do not need chaos to feel alive. We can be safe, we can be calm, and we can still be driven. The other piece is what I like to call micro-completion moments. High achievers are kind of terrible at this, but once you start doing it, it really does make the world of a difference. When you finish one thing, you immediately move on to the next without even pausing. I want you to try this. After you accomplish something, even if it's something small, sit with that for at least 30 seconds. Feel it. Like really, really feel it. Because your brain needs to learn that completion, not just the pursuit being a source of reward. You can even give yourself little rewards throughout the day. This is something that I actually started doing, and I feel like it really does help. Small rewards such as getting matcha after finishing a task, or giving yourself 10 minutes to scroll on social media after completing a task, or scheduling a time to talk with your friend on FaceTime as long as you complete XYZ things to do. This is how you train your brain. Number 3 is identity shift. And honestly, this one has been one of the hardest ones for me. You have to redefine what productive means to you. For years, I thought being productive meant feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, fully booked, and just busy. If I wasn't tired at the end of the day, I must have not done enough. But that definition is the addiction that is talking. Real productivity is actually, did I move the needle on something that mattered? Did I create space for creativity? Did I protect my energy so that way I can show up the next day. And here is the neuroscience reason that this matters. When you constantly perform from stress, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that is responsible for decision making, creativity, and long-term thinking, is actually turning off. Your brain can literally not be creative and panicking at the same time. So every hour that you are spending in struggle mode is an hour that your best thinking is unavailable to you. So the question to ask yourself at the end of every single day isn't, was I busy enough? It's more so, did I operate from anxiety or alignment today? Let's bring this all back together. If you suspect that your brain has gotten addicted to struggle, 1, recognize the pattern. Catch yourself when peace feels uncomfortable and ask yourself why. Number 2, reset your baseline. Pause when the urge to create urgency hits. Let it pass. Teach your nervous system that safety is not the enemy. Number 3, redefining productivity. Being busy is not the same as being effective, and exhausted is not the same as accomplished. You can still be ambitious. You can still dream big and build big things. I know that I do, but you do not have to destroy your nervous system to get there. Some of my best work came from the moments that I let go. I stopped treating stress like it was a prize or a part of success. Because maybe the real goal isn't to struggle harder. Maybe the goal is to finally become someone who can receive the life that you have been dreaming of. If this video resonated with you, please make sure to comment below what else you want to see. Subscribe for more on neuroscience, manifestation, entrepreneurship, and essentially building a beautiful life inside and out. So you don't have to just dream about the life you want. You can actually start living that life.